Damage Control was in the spotlight this week for two segments. Not only did Bayley and Bianca Belair sign the contract for Saturday's Extreme Rules pay-per-view, but we also saw Candice LeRae take on Dakota Kai. Seth Rollins and Mendo had a face-to-face confrontation. Otis took on Johnny Gargano. Chad Gable faced Braun Strowman. And Finn Balor and Damian Priest for the Judgment Day took on the team of AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio. Let's take a look at what happened during this Go Home to Extreme Rules edition of Monday Night Raw, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher. Not sure if we're going to get the Phenom Michael Bullock. If we do, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we'll hopefully have him Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness. Extreme Rules Week is here, and tonight it was Monday Night Raw's turn as far as go-home shows go. This was the go-home of two Extreme Rules for Monday Night Raw, as we were live tonight from the Xcel Energy Center, St. Paul, Minnesota, the home of the NHL's Minnesota Wild, on the USA Network as always. And we started things off with a tag team matchup. That tag team matchup I just mentioned. Finn Balor and Damian Priest of the Judgment Day squaring off against the phenomenal AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio. Finn Balor and Damian Priest win the match 10 minutes and 42 seconds. And yeah, we noticed after the match, AJ Styles got a little disgruntled and a little frustrated and took it out on Rey Mysterio. That's something we're going to have to keep an eye out for. But nonetheless, decent way to open the show. The match was good, but didn't do anything to move this storyline forward. It was more of what we have already seen for the last few weeks. And Rhea Ripley whispering to Dom before he speaks is such a fun little detail. It's just too bad Dom is not quite a convincing heel yet. Rey's baseball slide into a head scissor takedown on Finn Balor looked great. And AJ Styles getting mad at Rey Mysterio after the match probably made some people think he might join Judgment Day until the group attacked him and left him down in the ring. So we're going to have to keep an eye out on that development. But for this, 3 to 3 1/4, I'd say. Solid way to start. So not much more to say here. MF, Judgment Day keeps on rolling, and already trouble, dissension among the ranks with the phenomenal one in Rey Mysterio, and something we're going to have to keep an eye on. So not much more to say here. So MF, come on in. Let's get your thoughts on this. Judgment Day winning the match 10 minutes, 42 seconds.
Yeah, solid opener, good matchup, solid fight. I really got nothing more to say. I thought it could have been a lot more better than what it was, but I mean, it was a solid about a three, maybe a 3-star bout, and no, nothing else to say. So, Warrior, what's yours?
All right, MF, you lead off on the next matchup. Non-title matchup. It was the United States Heavyweight Champion, the almighty Bobby Lashley, squaring off against Mustafa Ali. Bobby Lashley wins the match in roughly 8.5 minutes. But after the match was over, Seth frickin' Rollins attacked both Bobby Lashley and Mustafa Ali. And next week on Monday Night Raw, the season premiere of Monday Night Raw, from the Barclays in Brooklyn, MF, we're going to run it back, as the kids like to say nowadays. Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, one more time for the United States Heavyweight Championship.
Solid matchup coming up. The way I feel about this it goes like this. It was fine. It was good. I actually like that Ali was definitely the consummate underdog because Lashley was dominating the whole fight. But Ali, his fighting spirit, he never gave up. He kept going, kept coming, and I think he earned the respect of Bobby Lashley after that. Seth Rollins, being the snake in the grass like he normally is, absolutely comes out and nails Lashley out of nowhere, hit him with the curve stomp. Then Ali got curve stomped as well. And it just gives that attitude, that mold of 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 Seth freaking Rollins. And the thing is, no matter if you want him to be a face, no matter if you want him to be a heel, he is one of the best things on Monday Night Raw, if not for the entire WWE. So for me, this was about another 3-star bout. Fun little sprint, good enjoy action, but the payoff is now we got Rollins versus Lashley season premiere of Raw, Barclays, Brooklyn, New York. Now, with everything that's going on at the Fight Pit, and we just found out that there's going to be a special guest referee.
We're gonna get into that.
Huh?
We're gonna get into that because we got the segment coming up.
Okay, so we'll talk about it.
Yes.
So I'll hold my thoughts because
Yeah.
I was about to go there, but I won't. I'll hold. Yeah, then I'll just leave it as is, and I'll let you take it.
All right. So I agree with you, MF. Solid 3 stars for this as well. Fun little sprint. This was a great showcase and another example of how underutilized Mustafa Ali has been for the last few years. He has so many great attributes, especially as a babyface. Bobby Lashley made him regret beating a countout when he cut him in half with a spear before applying the Hurt Lock. Ali refused to tap, so he ended up passing out. As the champ tried to help Ali to his feet, Rollins came out of nowhere and hit a curb stomp on Lashley onto the title belt. And Lashley turning Ali inside out with a clothesline at ringside was a nice spot, and the 450 spot, the 054 to Lashley's arm, looked incredible even in slow motion. So yeah, I'm right there with you, MF. Solid 3 stars, no question. All right, now this is what I know MF wanted to get into, and we're gonna get into it right here and now. I apologize for that little cutoff there, MF, but I wanted to set it up because I wanted to get into the segment here. It was the face-to-face confrontation. Seth freaking Rollins and Matt Riddle. Oh, by the way, yes, they went there again. Riddle bringing up, Becky, and he even brought up Roman Reigns. Let's not forget about that. And then, Riddle going after Riddle, talking about, the divorce and the kids and all that. You all remember that. And then on the Titantron, who was on the Titantron? MF. You know this gentleman very well because you follow the UFC very religiously, as we all know. UFC Hall of Famer. And I know MF will be dropping that 96-97 JR knowledge on this guy because he knows the body of work inside and out. Daniel Cormier is going to serve as the special guest referee for the Rollins and Riddle Fight Pit match that will take place this Saturday night at Extreme Rules in Philadelphia. So, great segment. I mean, the only thing that would have made this better would have been if Daniel Cormier had been there instead of via satellite. If he had been in the ring with them, that would have made this segment even better. But nonetheless, other than that, I loved it. This was a great segment here. And the segment was probably the best part of this feud so far. And definitely one of the best showings for Matt Riddle on the mic. He kept the stoner stuff to a minimum and came across as serious and focused. And I loved I loved that they went there. Riddle, bringing up Roman and Becky to Rollins, and Rollins, talking about, Riddle's, divorce and the kids and all that. And then Daniel Cormier basically put him in their place. And that's going to make for a very interesting dynamic come Saturday night. So, I could honestly say this was the segment of the night for me. So, this was very well done, no question about it. So MF, sorry for cutting you off there a little earlier. I know you wanted to get into it at that moment, but here you go. I'm I'm going to open it up to you now. Rollins, Riddle, fantastic segment. Daniel Cormier, UFC Hall of Famer. You know him very well. Drop that knowledge.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's really nothing more to say about DC, man. Daniel Cormier, DC is what they call him, man. He was the ESPN Fighter of the Year in 2018. Of course, also was a Wrestling Observer newsletter. They actually did some MMA awards around their way. Gave the Feud of the Year in 2014. Of course, his rivalry with John Bones Jones is absolutely amazing. An Outstanding Fighter of the Year went to Cormier. He's also an ESPY Award winner for being named the Best MMA Fighter in 2018. So you had that going on. Former UFC Heavyweight Champion, former UFC Light Heavyweight Champion, winner of 2 fights of the night for $50,000. His fight against Alexander Gustafsson and, of course, the one against John Bones Jones. Got performance of the night. His first battle where he won over Anthony Rumble Johnson. Then he got one against Volkan Azadiri. And then, of course, the knockout that he got when he won the UFC Heavyweight Championship from Stipe Miocic. He has done it all. He's a Strikeforce Grand Prix World Champion. He was King of the Cage Heavyweight Champion once in his career. And yeah, anybody who knows DC Daniel Cormier, he started out as a freestyle wrestler, was an All-American, won world championship, was a Pan Am world champion, Pan American champion, gold medalist. I mean, this guy started out just like any other wrestler. The one thing that he is that he never got to WWE, even though he loves WWE. He'll reference it from time to time during the UFC telecast. But the one thing is that he was so excited to do this. He is very close with Triple H. Triple H is very fond of DC Daniel Cormier, and this was one of the reasons why he got the call. So Daniel Cormier talked about it. It was during the time with Ariel Helwani, and they talked about it recently. And it was actually Triple H that brought that talk to DC. This was right around the time. It was right around the time in, I want to say, a few months ago, about a couple of months ago, when they were in Vegas. And it was because of Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya had performed an event there, and there was actually some talk between Triple H and DC, and the two guys were there. And you know what? It was pretty awesome. So yeah, Daniel Cormier, big announcement. Now as special guest referee. And the thing is, you know the Fight Pit. If you haven't seen NXT, if you haven't seen what the Fight Pit's all about, go out of your way to watch it. Because this is an MMA's dream. This is literally me. I'm going to be a kid in the candy store. The Fight Pit is going to be, you're going to get me to be the Mike Goldberg of that fight. I'm going to be the Mauro Ranallo of Bellator MMA. You're going to see me be very different in the Fight Pit than I normally am when just doing wrestling.
Let's go, baby.
So,
can't wait.
Because of the fact of the Fight Pit is really more MMA style. It is more, I don't know if there's rounds. I do believe there is. So you're going to see this, and it's going to be a war. You know what this is going to be. There's no give. There's no submission. There is no pinfalls. It's basically submission or you got to knock your opponent out.
That's it.
And that's it. Basically, it's a regular ring, a cage over the top. Yeah, there's a little bit of a balcony, so you could see a crazy spot if you want to see it. But that fight pit is without a doubt, it's not going to be the same. It will be one of the more sadistic, more evil structures. And let me tell you, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun coming up. So, nothing more to say. Anthony, yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be really good.
Friends, I gotta tell you, if you, I mean, you know, I always, make that joking reference. I always refer to MF when he goes nuts. I always refer to him as Screaming Michael Fletcher. Let me tell you, that fight pit match, you're gonna be getting Screaming Michael Fletcher and then some. Trust me, I know it. And just hearing you say that, MF, knowing that you're gonna be like Mike Goldberg and Mauro Ranallo, oh boy, you just got me hyped for this. I was already hyped before, but oh man, oh that's gonna be so much fun Saturday night. If anything else, that should be the main event. If I'm gonna be completely honest with all of you, if any match deserves to be in the main event of this card, this match should be it. Since Roman's not on there, it's gotta be. So, just my opinion. So, wow, that was great. All right. Next up, women's action. Candice LeRae one-on-one with Dakota Kai. And Dakota Kai wins the match in an even 11 minutes. MF, this ended up being the start of what ended up being a big night for Damage Control.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Solid match, very good match. I'm a little disappointed they gave it to Dakota. I get it. I know they want to give her some momentum, but Candice just got back. And this was truly a one-on-one. Now, you can say Damage Control did have a little factor in the ending. So, I mean, I get it. It serves the purpose on the storyline. But for Candice to get a loss that fast, I mean, only her second fight in, and to get that kind of a loss right there, I don't know. I don't know if that was smart booking from Trips and the boys. I'm not gonna go full on blast on them. I just feel like maybe this was not the best route to go, but I get it. I understand it. I'm not going to make a big stink about it, but this was definitely another great match. Another 3 to 3.25 stars. So Florio, it's yours.
Right there with you, MF. Another 3 to 3.25. This match was more competitive than the previous encounters we saw on this show. Dakota Kai and Candice LeRae each had chances to get in some good offense, but having Bayley and Io Sky at ringside definitely gave the co-holder of the Women's Tag Team Championships an unfair advantage. Thanks to some help from Bayley, Dakota Kai was able to steal the win. While this match was good, it definitely fell short of what we know both women can do in the ring. And the drop kick Candice LeRae hit through the ropes looked awesome. The way the camera was positioned was perfect to make it look like she came out of nowhere. And that's all there is to it. So right there with UMF, 3 to 3.25 for this. Next up, another one of the big matches that was promoted on this night. It was Johnny Gargano one-on-one with Otis. But Otis had Austin Theory and Chad Gable in his corner. And Otis picks up the win, 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Yeah, all right. It ended up being a fun match between two great athletes. It's just too bad it was another match with interference. 3 out of 4 matches up to this point on this show had some kind of shenanigans. And Theory hit Gargano with the briefcase while the referee was looking the other way, so Otis was able to hit his Mark Henry like World's Strongest Slam for the win. And then Braun Strowman ran down, took out Otis on his way to the ring before he got his hands on Chad Gable, which we will address in just a moment. Or I'll address the result in just a moment. But I could probably only give this maybe 2.5 for the effort. I was hoping they would get a little more time, to be honest with you. But, it is what it is. So I could probably give it 2.5. Probably call it another fun little sprint. So Not much more to say here, MF. Not a good night for the Garganos. I mean, first Candice LeRae loses to Dakota Kai, and now Johnny Wrestling goes down to Otis thanks to Austin Theory.
Yeah, but that's the main thing. It was Austin Theory. Austin Theory was the reason why that happened. So yeah, there was really nothing more to add. So yeah, it was definitely not a good situation, made even worse. Um, yeah, there's really nothing more to add. This was solid for what it was worth, but you know, we'll see what happens. So there's really nothing more. So yeah, Floyd was yours.
And next Monday night on Raw on the season premiere, Gargano and Theory 1-on-1. So there you go. So we're gonna see that next week. All right, Braun Strowman versus Chad Gable. Braun Strowman wins the match 8 minutes and 45 seconds. And let me see. Oh yeah. I believe MF gets this one as well. Yeah, MF. Strowman, Braun Strowman defeating Chad Gable 8 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yeah, it was fine for what it was worth. It was a solid match. Look, Strowman needed to be the strong guy, and he was exactly what he needed it to be. And it was fine for what it was worth. So I think it was about another two and a quarter, 2.5. Nothing too crazy. So Flory was yours.
MF, it was quick, but it was an entertaining sprint of a match. Braun Strowman has looked great since his return. This was 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star. Um, Chad Gable is so great at just about everything, and WWE should really try to do more with him as a singles wrestler, to be honest with you. So that's all I can say on that. 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star. All right, MF. Here's an MF special for you. You're gonna love this. But before we get into that, we had the contract signing for the Raw Women's Championship ladder match at Extreme Rules. Bayley and Bianca Belair on their own. Both of them were on their own. They didn't have their respective partners with them. Corey Graves served as the moderator, and they signed the contract. But in the backstage area, Damage Control, EO, and Dakota, they took out Alexa Bliss. But though they did a number on Alexa Bliss, but they took out Asuka. Asuka got taken down. Whoa. And then Asuka made the challenge. EO, you and me tonight. And there's your main event right there.
Actually, it was Alexa that called the shot, not Oscar.
Oh yeah, that's right. Alexa and EO for the main event tonight. So yeah, that the contract signing not as good as I was hoping it would be. I mean, we were hoping for one of those it ain't gonna end well moments during the signing itself, but it happened during in the backstage area. So that's all I can say there. So a little underwhelming if I'm going to be honest with you, but they're gonna produce a quality ladder match. Let's not kid ourselves. We're gonna get something great out of that. So and we'll get into that Friday night on the Cerebral Smack Talk. We'll be previewing the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. So all right, here's the MF special. Solo Sikoa, 1-on-1 with Angelo Dawkins. Of course, Solo Sikoa with the bloodline in tow, his brothers, the Usos, and Sami Zayn, going up against Angelo Dawkins with Montez Ford. Montez Ford injured, as we know. Solo Sikoa wins the match, 12 minutes and 20 seconds. And this was another one of the fights of the night here. You could most certainly make an argument that this was the fight of the night. Even though as good as this was, it was another in a long line of matches that included interference in some way. WWE has been much better as a whole lately, but it feels like an it feels like excuse me. Feels like an oversight that somebody let this many instances of outside interference help get booked on one show. Because Solo won the match because of mayhem at ringside with Zayn and the Usos. And the growing animosity between Jey Uso and Sami Zayn is one of the best storylines going in WWE. And everything Sami Zayn touches turns to gold nowadays. And Solo Sikoa has a great Samoan drop. Not everyone hits it well, but his hits flush every time. And Dawkins, in my opinion, if there was an award for most improved superstar, he would win it. Because he has really stepped up his game over the last couple years or so. So I could probably maybe give this about 3.25, 3.5 or so. So not much more to say here. MF Bloodline keeps on rolling.
Bloodline keeps on rolling. 3.25, 3.5, no doubt about it. Excellent match. Really nothing more to add. So let's just move on.
All right, and let's see what we got here. And then Edge cuts a vignette about his I Quit match with Finn Balor coming up Saturday night. All right. Next Monday night on Raw, season premiere, Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York. The Bloodline, including the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. They will all be there. Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, United States Heavyweight Championship matchup. Johnny Gargano versus Austin Theory. And the 25th anniversary celebration of D-Generation X. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, X-Pac, Road Dogg. They'll all be there. You know, obviously Billy Gunn very likely won't be there because, you know, he's under contract to AEW as the manager of the World Tag Team Champions, The Acclaimed. So I don't think he's going to be there. If he's there, I'll be shocked. But you saw the graphic. He was not on the graphics. So I think we'll see Trips, HBK, X-Pac, and Road Dogg on that one. But but whether he's there or not, it's going to be fun anyway. So I can't wait for that. It's going to be great. Main event of the evening, Alexa Bliss one-on-one with Io Sky. Io Sky wins the match, 9 minutes and 15 seconds. And you noticed after the match was over, Damage Control really took it to Bianca and Alexa. Asuka even tried to come out and try to even the odds, but not even she could get it done. So, and the show ended. You saw the visual. Bayley on top of the ladder with the Raw Women's Championship belt in hand, while Io and Dakota on the bottom of the ladder with their tag team titles. Oh boy. Trying to does this go to UMF? I think it does. I don't know.
I think it does.
Yeah, okay. So all right. So Io wins the match, 9:15. Surprise, surprise. More shenanigans, of course, and but the visual that we saw at the end of tonight's show, is that the visual we're going to see on Saturday?
Normally, Booking 101 would say no, but the way that they've been booking Damage Control lately, it's very possible. As a matter of fact, I think it will. I think what we just saw could be a carbon copy on Saturday. I honestly believe we're going to see a new Raw Women's Champion. I think Bianca Belair's reign is about to come to an end, and it's going to be done by the role model. I think Bayley walks away with the gold. So yeah. So what you saw at the end of tonight very well could be the outcome on Saturday. So it was a fine match. Yes, they're really making Damage Control overpowering. Like, I've never seen a squad other than maybe Toxic Attraction on NXT. I've never seen a female squad like this dominating Monday Night Raw like they've been. It's been a long time since we've had a main roster crew that's just been ransacking through the entire women's division like this. And I think the ultimate payoff is going to happen on Saturday with possibly Bailey walking out the new Raw Women's Champion. And I do believe it will be because of damage control. I don't think that Bianca will. I don't think Bailey is going to win it outright. She's going to get a lot of help, and that's why I think it's going to end that way. So, Florio, it's yours.
Yeah. Another 3-star match. I could probably only give it 3 for this effort. There was a lot to like in this match, but with so many bouts, including interference on one show, it was hard not to let it impact the perceived quality of the entire show. When all but one match on a 3-hour show has some kind of nonsense, it might be time to review the script again. We saw some good storyline developments, but there were other ways to accomplish the same thing. The Thesz press is one of those moves that a lot of people use, but only a few can make it look really good. Stone Cold Steve Austin was one who made it look great most of the time. Bliss is hit or miss with it. The running double knee, Io Sky hitting the corner looked painful. She was moving quick when she made contact. Kai and Bailey sending Belair into the steel steps looked and sounded nuts. She hit those steps hard. Jimmy Smith yelled out, "Oh my God," during that, which was, that shows you how much he believed it. So, yeah, 3 stars for that. Overall review, I probably could only give this 7, maybe 7.5. I mean, the matches were good, yes, but the only downside was there was way too much interference. And they got to start toning that down. We don't want to. I mean, we've had so many positive things to say about WWE over the last couple of months, ever since Triple H took over since Triple H got the keys to the car here. I mean, it's just, and like we said going into this thing when it first started, a couple months or so ago, we said that not every show was going to be an out of the park home run or an upper deck home run or anything, but it was a solid show, but it was not quite overly spectacular. But it was still a good show though. So 7, teetering on 7.5. That's the best I can go with this show tonight. I'm hopeful that next week's show, the season premiere in Brooklyn, hopefully they'll right the ship here, and then we'll see about Friday night on the season premiere of SmackDown at the Worcester Centrum in Worcester. So not much more to say for me. 7, 7.5, and MF. Quick thought from you, and then I'll get into my very special Tony stick as I preview Impact Wrestling's biggest event of the year, Bound for Glory.
Yeah, first off, I want to say I'm going to give it 7. I agree with what you were saying there. I thought it was a solid show. It was all right. I don't think we can go any more further than that. So, yeah, go ahead, Florio. It's yours.
All right, MF. Special Tony's take once again, and this time we're going to be setting up. We're going to be setting up the biggest event of the year when it comes to Impact Wrestling. Now, you all remember last month we talked about the most loaded and stacked Labor Day weekend in history, and what a great time it was to be alive, to be, as a fan of professional wrestling and sports. Well, we're doing it once again, because this weekend, this month, Columbus Day, we got the biggest and most loaded Columbus Day weekend of all time. And it starts this upcoming Friday night. Not just the season premiere of Friday Night SmackDown in Worcester. Not just AEW Battle of the Belts live following Rampage. But you also have Impact Wrestling's biggest event of the year. Their WrestleMania, if you will. Bound for Glory. Bound for Glory will be live this Friday night from the MVP Arena in Albany, New York, exclusively on pay-per-view, streaming on Fight TV, or I should say the Albany Armory. I'm sorry to say, Albany Armory in Albany, New York, and before I get into anything else, Impact Wrestling is going to induct another wrestler into their Hall of Fame. And going into the Hall of Fame for 2022, Raven. You remember Raven, formerly Johnny Polo in WWE. He then became Raven in WCW and ECW. One of the greatest of all time when it comes to ECW. And, he's going to be going into the Hall of Fame, the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame, and rightfully so. I mean, All Action Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, Australasian Wrestling Federation Champion, 2-time ECW World Heavyweight Champion, MF, you know all about that. Was also a 4-time co-holder of the ECW World Tag Team titles, twice with Stevie Richards, once with Tommy Dreamer, once with Mike Awesome. Extreme Wrestling Federation Champion, 1 time. Great Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. Heartland Wrestling Association Tag Team Champion with Hugh Morris. High Risk Pro Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. Juggalo Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champion with Sexy Slim Goody. Mid-Eastern Wrestling Federation Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Champion. NWA Central States Heavyweight Champion. NWF National Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Champion. NWA Pacific Northwest Heavyweight Champion 3 times. Co-holder of the Pacific Northwest Tag Team titles 3 times. Top Gun, The Grappler, and Steve Dahl, his respective partners. Pacific Northwest Television Champion. Propane Pro Wrestling 3PW World Heavyweight Champion. PWI ranked him number 22 of the top 500 singles wrestlers in the PWI 500 in 2003. In that same year, in 2003, the PWI years, he was ranked number 168 of the top 500 singles wrestlers. Ring Around the Northwest Newsletter Wrestler of the Year from 89 to 90. TNA Impact Wrestling. 1-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Won the King of the Mountain match in 2005. Gauntlet for the Gold in 2003. Going into the Hall of Fame, obviously. United States Extreme Wrestling Heavyweight Champion 4 times. United States Wrestling Association World Tag Champion 1 time with Brian Christopher. United States Wrestling Organization Heavyweight Champion. 5 times was the USA Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. Vanguard Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. WCW was a WCW Light Heavyweight Champion. A United States Heavyweight Champion. A World Tag Team Champion with Perry Saturn. And was and I kid you not, he was a 27-time WWF Hardcore Champion. And of course, we all remember that infamous NWA TNA pay-per-view show, September 17th of 2003, that hair versus hair match with Shane Douglas. He lost. He got scalped by Father Jim Mitchell. One of the greatest calls of Mike Tenay and Don West's career. You got to go out of your way to see that. If you don't have Impact Plus, strongly suggest you get it. It's worth it. Trust me, it is. But congratulations to Raven going into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame. And man, there's not that many people in there, but he joins the likes of Sting, Kurt Angle, Jeff Jarrett, Earl Hebner, Gail Kim, Abyss, Ken Shamrock, Awesome Kong. He joins them. Those are all the single wrestlers, and only 1 tag team is in there, and that's Team 3D, the Dudley Boys, whatever you want to call them. So, 11. 9 individuals, 1 group, but we're going to get a 10th individual with Raven going in. So, congratulations to him. All right. I don't have a full preview, but what I will do is I will just give you my simple predictions as to who I think will win the matches. So, Bound for Glory this Friday night, Albany Armory, Albany, New York, on pay-per-view, Fight TV, And it will be on the pre-show, Brian Myers, an open challenge for the Impact Digital Media Championship. I don't know who's going to be in that. I don't know who it's going to be, but I got a feeling we might have a new champion. I got a feeling it could be a surprise. So we'll see. From the bottom to the top, we're going to have the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. It's going to be an intergender Call Your Shot Gauntlet. You know how that works. The winner receives a trophy and a contract they can use anytime within a year for any title match of their choosing. It's like their version of Money in the Bank, if you will. And the participants, PCO, Rich Swann, Giselle Shaw, Heath, Bhupinder Gujar, Bobby Fish. Yes, Bobby Fish is now in Impact Wrestling. Steve Macklin, Moose, and Sami Callihan. And I'm calling it right here and right now. I think Steve Macklin's going to win that match. I got this feeling Macklin's going to win it, coming off the biggest win of his career previously when he won the Barbed Wire Massacre at Victory Road. I got to go with Macklin. Knockouts Tag Team Championship on the line. The champions, Vexed, Chelsea Green, and Deonna Purrazzo, defending against Taya Valkyrie and Jessica. I got to go with Vexed. I say Vexed successfully defends. The Mickie James Farewell Tour continues. Mickie James career-threatening match, just like with Ric Flair in 2007 and 2008. You remember that. The next match, Mickie loses. Her career's over. And she's going to be in for her toughest test yet. She's going up against Mia Yim. I'm going to go with Mickie James to win. But if Mia Yim were to somehow steal this, I would not at all be surprised. But I got to go with Mickie James. And I think Mickie James might make it all the way to the title match. But we'll see. And speaking of championships, the remaining matches are all championship matches. Speedball Mike Bailey defends the Impact X Division Championship against one of the pioneers of the X Division, Frankie Kazarian. Kazarian earned the right by winning that revolver match at Victory Road. It would be awesome to see Kazarian get one last moment, but I got to go with Speedball. He's the hot hand right now. I'm going to say Speedball successfully defends. Honor No More, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett defend the World Tag Team Championship against the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. This could easily be the fight of the night here, no question about it. But I think Honor No More will hang on to the gold for a little bit, a little longer here. I say Taven and Bennett successfully defend. Knockouts Championship on the line. Champion Jordan Grace defending against Masha Slamovich. I'm calling new champion. I think Masha wins the title. And did you see that Monsters Ball match that Masha was in the other night on Impact against Alley Catch? Oof. That was something. I got to go with Masha. I think she's due. And the main event of the evening, the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Josh Alexander defending against Eddie Edwards. As much as I love Josh Alexander, and I do, I got this feeling Eddie Edwards is going to steal the title. If you want to get Honor No More over as the dominant faction in Impact, you gotta put the belt on Eddie. And I think Eddie's going to, by hook or crook, steal it. But if Josh were to win, I would not at all be surprised. I wouldn't. But I got to go with Eddie Edwards to steal the title. So that's it for Bound for Glory. And next week, I will have my review of it and another special Tony's Take. We'll get back to my normal Tony's Take in 2 weeks on October 17th. Then we'll get back to the normal stuff, Impact Wrestling and NXT Level Up. So, all right. So with that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We'll be back with you once again on Wednesday night, 10 p.m. I'm sure, MF, I'm sure it's the same start times as usual for all the shows for this week, I'm sure. So, yeah.
Yeah, nothing changes.
10 p.m. Wednesday, 10:30 Thursday, 11 Friday, obviously, and then 10:30 Saturday.
Yep.
Or Saturday, and it'll be after Extreme Rules. And then what about Sunday for the recap?
10 o'clock.
All right, just want to be sure. Okay. So you heard it. So let's set the table here. Wednesday night, 10 p.m. MF will have it. Brace Fan 95. Wednesday Night Madness, as we will get into NXT. As well as AEW Dynamite. And we will also preview Thursday Night Football, the Indianapolis Colts squaring off against the Denver Broncos. Spoiler alert, it's our number 4 game of the week on our ledger. Then from there, Thursday, 10:30, the Week 6 edition of College Football Thursday. Folks, it's loaded. It's loaded. That's all I'm going to say. And even though, even though I know Texas and Oklahoma are not ranked, I say we make it a special exception because, come on, it's the Red River rivalry. We got to get into that. Come on. So, we're going to lead off the show with that. And then we'll get into the ranked games. The only exceptions we make are the Red River rivalry and Army and Navy. Those are the only exceptions. So we'll get into all that. Red River rivalry, Jimbo Fisher, Nick Saban, A&M and Alabama, Notre Dame, BYU. There's so many great games on tap for this weekend. It's going to be great. That'll be on Thursday, and then Friday, 11 p.m., Raceway 95, Cerebral Smack Talk. The season premiere of Friday Night SmackDown, as well as AEW Rampage, and we will also preview the Extreme Rules pay-per-view Saturday night, immediately following or shortly after Extreme Rules goes off the air. Come right back here to the Tone 25 for the Week 5 edition of NFL Saturday. I apologize for not having the show this past Saturday. Had a little event that went a little longer than I thought, so ended up being out later than I thought. So we had no choice but to kibosh it. But we'll be back this Saturday, and we got a lot of good ones on top of that, including the Giants and the Packers in London, and so many among others. And then from there, Sunday night, 10 p.m., Raceway 95, our recap of Extreme Rules. And then we come right back here and do it all again next Monday night, Ridiculously Raw. Special Tony's, not just the season premiere of Monday Night Raw, but I will have my recaps of AEW Battle of the Belts and Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory. Hope you got all that. So that's it. So until Wednesday night, for Wednesday Night Madness over on the MX channel of Raceway 95, Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the Phenom Michael Bullock. And, of course, always and forever, the First Lady, Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up 14-4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday night for Madness, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who's been a part of this one. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. Now, for everybody who's been a part of this one. For now, Anthony Florio. So long. Bye, everybody. Bye.